Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Push Square, and I wanted to put up a really quick video today talking about Drawn to Death, which is obviously one of this month's free PlayStation Plus games, and I think it's got a lot of unfair criticism from some people because of its status as a free PlayStation Plus game. You know, PlayStation Plus at this point in time has sort of generated a kind of reputation for being rubbish at the moment, even though there are a lot of good games coming out on it. I know that people want the big AAA blockbusters and stuff, and I get it, but, you know, that isn't a reason really to just completely write off games. However, in Drawn to Death's case, I kind of understand. The art style is very unique, and obviously I've got gameplay footage running here so you can see it, but it's sort of based upon 90s high school jotter, the kind of doodles that a pretty talented kid might put in their jotter when they're supposed to be listening to lecturers or whatever, and the whole game is built around this premise. So it starts out with kind of an FMV sequence where you're in the school and you're listening to your teacher, and then it kind of zooms into the book, and you've just got all this crazy stuff going on in the book. There's this frog which is kind of your trainer, but at the core this is a multiplayer shooter. It's an arena shooter, and I said in my review it's a bit like if Street Fighter, Twisted Metal and Quake all had a big violent orgy, is what this game feels like. It's very unique, it's very different. So there are several different characters. There's like Johnny Savage, who's like a punk star. There's Cyborgula. There's Bronco, who's kind of like an ex-military veteran with an amputated leg. It's all very creative and imaginative, but the way the game works is each of these characters kind of operate like a character in a fighting game. So if you think of Overwatch, for example, each hero in Overwatch has its own abilities, has its own unique skills and attributes, and that's the same in Drawn to Death. Drawn to Death, each of the characters, you need to really learn how to play them. So Johnny Savage, for example, he has two specials. One of his specials is like that he can send out a kind of riff across the floor, and like a demon comes out of it, so you get like a kind of sort of area of effect attack. Alternatively, he can like do like, I think it's called Headbanger, where there's like this dome of sound, and if you capture your opponent within the dome of sound, it causes their head to kind of inflate before it explodes, so that gets you a kill. But there's other stuff going on as well. There's like with Johnny Savage, he can kind of jump up into the air and do a kind of karate kick, I guess. And he can also like in the air he can do like air jumps, so you can like dodge when you're in the middle of a jump. You can kind of dodge in different ways, and each of the characters, what I'm getting to is each of the characters is completely different. There's Ninja, who is like a ninja, but she can like throw out sharks her enemies that kind of sort of explode or whatever, and she's also got like a hook that she can tether enemies to the ground, and then you know, you can do a lot of damage to them while they're immobile, and she's also got like a hook that she can like jump and then like hook shot onto different buildings and stuff. And the point I'm getting to is that there's so much depth to this game that it's actually quite surprising, because the game is relatively juvenile. You know, I think what's put a lot of people off this game is not just the art style, and the art style is quite juvenile in itself, but the way the game's presented is very juvenile. There's lots of swearing, there's lots of bad language, there's lots of crude humour, you know, fart jokes and stuff like that. But I understand that it can be hard to get beyond that, but I'm actually really enjoying this game. So I gave this game an 8 out of 10, and I knew as soon as I published the review that I was going to get a lot of comments from people who downloaded it from PlayStation Plus just to tell me that I'm completely wrong. But I don't know what it is about this game, but it's really clicked with me. I love the game modes. In Deathmatch, for example, you get 2 points for a kill, but you also lose a point if you die. And there's this kind of consequence to getting killed in the game, which I think really it's different to, if you think about stuff like Call of Duty or even Battlefield, there's no real consequence to dying. You're just constantly respawning back into the battlefield, and you're running and you're getting murdered, and then you're respawning, you're going again. With this game, it feels like there's consequence to getting killed, and also what that does in Deathmatch in particular is it creates like a system where even if you're at the bottom of the scoreboard, if you get a kill streak, you can jump right back to the top. You're going to bump your opponent's scores down, and you're going to really boost your own. And I've had a few matches now where it's gone right to the very end. You get like an overtime thing, and it feels like almost a fighting game. You know, in a fighting game where you know, both players haven't got much health, and they're kind of just teasing each other, trying to see who will blink first in order to get in that final attack that's going to finish it off. I've had a few matches of Drawn to Death that have felt like that, where no one really wants to move, no one really wants to get close to each other, because they know if they make a mistake, it's going to be game over, but the clock's ticking. You've got to make a move, you've got to execute it perfectly, and it feels awesome when you snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat. It really does feel really, really good. And there are a lot of other good modes too. I really like Organ Donor, which is a bit like, I guess, Kill Confirmed in Call of Duty, where you kill an opponent and you steal their heart, and then you have to deposit the heart at like an organ donor station. But the thing is, like, if you get killed and you lose your heart, and you know a person is going to take that heart and go and score, you can actually respawn super quick, but you respawn with half your health, so it's kind of a risk-reward thing. Do you respawn with half your health and risk stopping them from getting that point, or do you wait and confront them with your full health? There's lots of cool little balance tweaks like that, and the weapons are great. There's like a JRPG, I think, it's called the JRPG, so it's obviously a riff on an RPG, but it's actually like a Super Nintendo that fires like cartridges that explode. There's lots of other weird weapons. I think one's called Uncle Bob, and Uncle Bob is like a corpse that you fire out of a coffin and it explodes, but that does massive damage, but it's balanced by the fact that each time you want to reload, you have to dig up a new body. So you can kind of see how rigorously this sticks to a common theme, which is this theme of the 90s Jota. The maps are cool as well. There's one like a city street that's being ravaged by an alien invasion. There's another one that's like a gladiatorial ring with like moving walls and stuff like that. And while the art style doesn't look great in screenshots, hopefully you can see here how it actually runs really nicely and looks pretty good in motion. I think I really like the way it looks personally. You know, I hate the kind of meme humor and the kind of juvenile humor in games like Borderlands and stuff like that. I always rag on it, but this feels like it goes so far into edgy territory that it's actually funny. The commentator is ridiculous, and he'll say stupid stuff, like he'll start counting down to the end of the match when there's still a minute to go, and then he like riffs on it and makes a joke about how you've still got plenty of time left and stuff like that. I enjoy stuff like that, and I think the thing about this game is that it's so it sticks so much to its guns, and it's so all in on this juvenile humour, this Jota theme, that it actually works, in my opinion. I really enjoy it, but I do understand why people can't get past it. I think I do have some complaints in that I don't like so the game was originally meant to be free to play, and they kind of changed the model to make it, you know, just a normal purchase. I think if you don't have PlayStation Plus, the game costs like $19.99 in the US or something like that. I think it's $15.99 in the UK, but there's still a lot of microtransactions in the game, and that's fine, because like a game like Overwatch has loot boxes and stuff, but it feels like you unlock them a bit too slowly here, so I'd like them to tweak that. The only other concern I have is that the player base is really small, which is part of the reason that I've been making this video. Like, I feel like no one's really tried it, and I totally get it. I understand if it looks unappealing. I get why you wouldn't want to download it, but I do think that this game is way more fun than people are giving credit for it. I really, really enjoy this game, and you can read my full review where I sort of go into a little more detail about the mechanics and the systems, but I'm just hoping that this video sparks some people to give it a go, because it is free on PlayStation Plus, and if you can't get past the art style, you can't get past the bad jokes and the humour and stuff, I get it, it's fine. I understand, but do give it a chance, because I think there's a really fun multiplayer shooter here. I was reading Eurogamer's review today, and they were a little less positive on it than I am, which is fair, but I think we're on the same page in that this is a breath of fresh air in the shooter space. It feels kind of old school, it feels like Quake, but it's got kind of the nuance of a fighter. And it's got like the frenetic ridiculousness of Twisted Metal as well. Even though it's on foot, it feels really fast. It's not as fast as Twisted Metal, but it feels pretty fast to me. I've seen some people say that it's slow and floaty, and the jump is quite floaty, but I wouldn't say that it's slow game. It feels really fast to me. I've just been having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, let me know what you think of Drawn to Death in the comment section below. Do you think that this is being overlooked by people because it's a free PlayStation Plus game with a wacky art style? Did you try it and not like it? Which, like I say, I totally get. Or are you with me? Do you has this game really clicked with you and you're like, well, actually this is a real surprise, it's really awesome? Let me know in the comment section below. I apologise for some of the play in this video. I recorded while I was trying out some of the different characters before writing the review, and yeah, I'm not that great with some of the other characters, but I'm pretty good with Johnny Savage and Bronco, I think. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned to the channel, lots coming up, and I'll catch you next time.